Today, I want to share a story that really sticks with you. It's an incredible story about resilience, about sacrifice, and really about the unbreakable bond of family. It's the story of a mother named Asha and the promise she fought tooth and nail to keep against all odds.
So let's set the scene. We're in a small village called Sundarpur, and this is where we meet Asha, her husband Vishwanath, and their two young sons, Raju and Suhas. They're a pretty simple family, but they have this one powerful, guiding dream.
And this was it. This was their whole world. Looking at their two bright sons, this was the promise Asha and Vishwanath made to each other. It was their North Star, the reason for everything they did. They were going to make sure their boys had a better life.
Now let's be real, this was a huge dream, especially when you consider their reality. They were laborers. Their lives were defined by incredibly hard, physical work, day in and day out. All of it, every bit of sweat, was for building that better life for their kids.
But you know how life is. Just when you think you've got a plan, the world can turn completely upside down. And for this family, that's exactly what was about to happen.
It was a day that started out just like any other, totally normal. Vishwanath went off to his construction job, but around noon, carrying a heavy bag of cement under that blazing sun, he got dizzy, and he tragically fell from the 5th floor of the building.
At the hospital, there was no miracle. The doctor's words were just final. Vishwanath was gone. And in that one single moment, Asha's entire world, everything she and her husband had been working for, just completely shattered.
So what do you do when your whole world falls apart? Well, in the face of grief you can't even imagine, what Asha did next is a testament to a mother's incredible strength. This is where her endless labor, her real fight, truly began.
Get this, just 10 days after her husband's death, Asha turned to her neighbor and said this, "I must end strong for my children." This wasn't just sadness talking. No, this was a declaration of war on her circumstances. She wiped her tears and decided she was going to fight.
And fight she did.
I mean, she took on her husband's grueling job carrying cement all day. And as if that wasn't enough, she'd come home at night exhausted and do sewing and embroidery just to scrape together a little extra money. She was literally working around the clock.
And you know what? It started to work. All that sacrifice started to mean something. Her sons, seeing what their mother was doing for them, they poured everything they had into their studies. Raju didn't just pass his exams. He came in first in the entire district. Suhas topped his class too. And then the big one. Raju earned a scholarship to study engineering in the city. The dream was still alive.
But just as a little bit of light started to peek through, a new kind of challenge appeared. And this one didn't come from fate or bad luck. It came from the greed of someone they thought they could trust.
This new problem had a name, Shankar. He was a friend of Vishwanath's from the village, and since he traveled to the city where Raju was studying all the time, Asha saw him as a lifeline, someone she could really count on to help.
So every single month, Asha would give Shankar 5,000 rupees. Now, that was a huge amount of money for her, earned through pure grit and backbreaking work, and she trusted him to deliver it to Raju for his living expenses. She trusted him completely.
But after the first month or two, something changed. Raju was only getting 3,000 rupees. And being a good son, he just thought, wow, mom must be really struggling, so he tried to make it work. He had no idea what was really going on. So the big question is, where did the rest of it go? What happened to that missing 2,000 rupees every single month? Well, the answer is just a story of cold, calculated deception.
The whole thing came crashing down when Raju came home for the Diwali holidays. He asked his mom about the money, and this sickening betrayal came to light. Shankar had been playing both of them. He'd tell Raju his mom couldn't make the full payment, and then he'd turn around and tell Asha he'd delivered it all, while pocketing a huge chunk of her hard-earned money for himself.
Now, a betrayal like that could break anyone. It could have been the final straw, but not this family, no way. They pushed forward, which leads us to the final and honestly, the best part of their story.
Raju took all that pain and anger and turned it into fuel. He worked harder than ever and became a fantastic engineer. And his younger brother, Suhas, he achieved his dream too, becoming a police inspector. Their father's dream for them, it was finally real.
And here's the thing, they never forgot who made it all possible. They knew their success was built on the foundation of their mother's endless work, her tears and her sacrifice. They told her, "Your hard work finally paid off."
And remember Shankar? Well, karma has a funny way of working things out. It turns out, as a police inspector, Suhas discovered that Shankar hadn't just cheated them, he'd been cheating lots of people in the village. And so in the end, it was Asha's own son who put him in jail, bringing their story full circle.
So if you look at their journey, it's just this massive roller coaster, right? They start in this place of incredible hardship. Then they face this deep, personal betrayal that could have derailed everything. But in the end, they found a level of happiness and success that was so much greater than all the pain they had to go through. When you boil it all down, Asha's story just shows us that even when you're facing poverty and unthinkable tragedy, a mother's unwavering dedication can literally carve a path to a better future for her children. Her promise was stronger than any obstacle thrown her way.
And that kind of leaves us with a final question to think about, doesn't it? What is the true measure of a parent's love? Is it about the money you can give, or is it about the depth of the sacrifices you're willing to make? I think Asha's story gives us a pretty powerful answer.